Episode 157. Today we recap the Phillies series and preview the upcoming series against the Reds. You're listening to the Bucko Banter podcast, brought to you by the Just Baseball Media Network. Cue the music.
Rockin' 101, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Order steak by the plate, send in case after case. Run my race at my pace, clear the grass of the snake.
Welcome back to another episode of Bucko Banter, and the Pirates were swept again.
Am I supposed to add anything to that, or?
I don't have anything else to add. If you don't, I would understand, because I definitely don't.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. If you watch on YouTube, go like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Man, Altoona was fun.
Altoona was a lot of fun. I'm wearing my Altoona curve hat. I'll probably wear it for our minor league episode again tomorrow. Altoona was a lot of fun. And, shout out to John Moses. He's the radio broadcaster there in Altoona, handles all the media stuff. Really helped us out. It was great. And got to chat it up with some of the players, got some fun reels coming out soon. And it was a fun game to watch, man.
They won, right? They won.
They won, man. It was exciting baseball. I haven't had that much fun watching baseball in quite some time.
Shout out Jay Staff from Just Baseball for hooking it up with the first row seats. We were in the press box for a little bit. The cinnamon roasted cashews. Oh my God. I mean, let's try and stay positive here. That was some of the best ballpark snack I've ever had.
I definitely prefer pecans. So when we go back, which is inevitable, it's only a 2-hour drive. We did it in a day. Definitely getting the pecans. We definitely got to try the curve burger too. Everyone kept talking about this curve burger.
Yeah.
The only thing I won't try is Altoona pizza. They don't have it at the ballpark. Thankfully, we pondered the idea of getting it after or before the game just to do a food review. I was going to let you do that yourself and ruin your stomach. But it's the only thing I probably wouldn't try.
Before we keep going, go to tseshop.com for all your Pittsburgh sports memorabilia needs. Pirates, Penguins, Steelers, and more. Get a Skeens autograph, McCutchen, Reynolds, whatever your heart desires. Go to tseshop.com. You can go in the description on Apple or Spotify. Click the link to let them know Bucko Banter sent you. Friday through Sunday, they played the Phillies. Friday probably had the most hope out of every game, and that's saying a lot considering Skeens won a complete game today.
Yeah.
One to
nothing.
It
was the epitome of the season, honestly. Just no offense. I mean, he threw another flawless outing. I know he's had a couple outings where he's had 4 walks, and it gets Pittsburgh radio up in arms. But man, we are witnessing a once in a lifetime talent right in front of us that's being wasted, and it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. Arms like this just don't come around very often, especially Pittsburgh.
Yeah, of course. I went to breakfast this morning with our cameraman Adam Debo, and I said Skeens is throwing today, so at least we have to look forward to that. And he said, "How many runs are you going to score?" I said, "Probably nothing." He goes, "I'm like, it's probably going to be a 1-0 game." He's like, "Probably." And guess what, man?
But they're facing a guy making his debut. I know Mick Abel was a first-round pick out of high school in Oregon. Like he's had a lot of promise, but this is a guy who struggled to find the zone for 5 years in minor league baseball.
And he lit it up today. Yeah,
he lit it up. But we definitely helped him out a bit too. I mean, a lot of strikeouts looking, chasing on. I mean, that curveball was gross, but a lot of chases. We helped him out. I was hoping if Skeens going up against a rookie arm, I was like, I'll take the Pirates' chances today, maybe. Man, he looked unbelievable against us.
They can't manufacture runs, even in small ball ways. They had runners on first and second with no outs, and they're trying to lay down a bunt. And they
right
get
back to the pitcher.
They get the lead runner, and then they hit into a double play.
Yeah, it was. I didn't really agree. I'm not necessarily against small ball. We've talked about this before. I wasn't a fan of bunting in that situation. put the ball in play, make something happen, move the runners with no outs. And it was just like I guess it wasn't the worst scenario that could have happened. Like you could have like just missed the ball completely when laying down a bunt, but he bunted it back to the pitcher, which enabled the pitcher to get the lead runner at third. And it's exactly what you didn't want to do in that situation. So yeah, that was our biggest opportunity to score, and we completely fumbled it. It was a kind of a dreadful inning. I wanted to turn off the game after that.
How many times did they have runners in scoring position this entire week?
Well, I know yesterday they had 0.
None.
Today was
today they had a couple.
Yeah.
And then on Friday they had 1. Or
Yeah,
no, they had 7. They had 7, but they were 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position.
I know they faced some good arms. Zach Wheeler yesterday, one of the best arms in baseball, one of the most consistent arms in baseball, just a true ace. But man, they just couldn't get anything going. They really couldn't. They played the Mets a lot better than they played the Phillies.
100%. They outscored the Mets
8-6, I think.
8-6, and they dropped 2 of 3.
Yeah.
And you go into Philadelphia, you get Horwitz back. Nick Solak was promoted. And we were talking when we were going to Altoona that this lineup has the potential. I'm not going to say to be better because you have to prove it to me for me to say this is going to be better, but it has the potential to look a lot different here in the next week or two. With Horwitz up, Gonzalez and Endy started their rehab assignments. I don't know how long Solak's going to be up for. Gorski, we'll just go through the headlines now. Gorski and Bay were optioned. So the lineup could look a lot different. But you could replace all these guys, and you're pretty much putting in similar bats at the end of the day. Maybe a slight improvement, but you're getting guys coming off injury that have either played only a handful of games this year or 1 game, like Nick Gonzalez. I would love to see them back in the lineup, but nothing is working right now. Not a single thing. Besides pitching. I just don't think
pitching. Yeah, I don't think the answer is there offensively for the Pirates. I think they're going to have to. It's going to come via trade this offseason. They got to get creative, man. Like I think you got to entertain offers for Hayes. You got to entertain offers for Reynolds. You got to entertain offers for Mitch Keller. I think that's the most likely guy of the multi-year contract guys on this team to go. I also would take advantage of Bednar. Kind of getting back into gear. You look at this Phillies team, that's kind of a perfect fit. They just lost Jose Alvarado to PED suspension. Jordan Romano struck out the side in the last inning, but he's had a tough go to start the season. I was like, okay, let's go 1 run, just 1 guy to get across the plate. Maybe we can make some late inning magic here. Complete game by Skeens. We could get something going, and man, it just didn't happen for us. But they're a team that could use a late inning reliever. I don't think you need to wait either. Like I think maybe on Reynolds to have him get going again, but I think you start entertaining offers as soon as you can.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
You need
rebuild for next year.
Pretty much a complete overhaul.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep setting yourself further back. I know it's year 6. People are up in arms, rightfully so. You don't want to make it another 6 years. You want to be able to compete next year. And believe it or not, you still have the pieces to do that. You still can compete next year.
Yeah.
You definitely have the arms to do it. You have Cruz. But you got to surround these guys. I mean, I would personally keep Reynolds in the lineup. You would hope you get some production out of Nick Gonzalez. Joey Bart's proven that he could swing the bat. But you got to make moves in order to get some major league ready bats. You got to draft well this year. You got to take upper level bats. I know the major league draft is a crapshoot. You just take best available. I love what they did with Connor Griffin. We'll get into it tomorrow in our minor league episode. But you need to start taking guys that are ready now or that are ready in a couple months. SEC bats are good now. These guys are ready to come into the pros sooner rather than later. You need to set yourself up for success now. Yeah. And I agree. Mitch Keller makes perfect sense. You need to shop Key Brian Hayes. You need to shop Brian. You need to at least see what you could get for Brian Reynolds. And then with all the 1 year guys gone, you get whatever you can.
Well, you're right there. If you're trading those 3 guys that you just mentioned before, the 1 year guys, you're getting all the contracts. You're getting a ton of money off the books, a ton of money. Like you're clearing Wade for Skeen's first ARB season because he's going to get paid up to 20 million in ARB, 20 to 25. But you're clearing a lot of the money off the books to go be creative in free agency, to be creative in the trade market, even though they should have done that this offseason. I know we've said this over and over again, but yeah, I think now's the time to get creative with the trade market and the draft too. We'll talk more about that probably on our minor league episodes going forward. We'll dedicate maybe a week or two prior to the draft with Jared Perkins and our guys, Tyler, as well on the draft side on Just Baseball to preview that. There's still the College World Series hasn't even started yet, so a lot can happen in the next month or so. But yeah, you'd hope that a college bet drops to them at 6.
Yeah. Even then, like, you just need to set yourself up for this next window. And let me take a step back. The next window of actual bats in the system is not for another 2 to 3 years. Legitimately. And if we went out to Altoona, we saw a really good game, but you look at that lineup and there's not many guys that are going to be up in AAA or that are going to compete for a major league roster spot. Maybe a couple in Termar Johnson, Jack Brannigan, but still a ways away.
Mitch Jebb has been hitting really well. I know he's got a different swing, but Kervin Machado has started the season off hot. But yeah, I mean, not guys.
You're not relying on these. You're not relying on these names to make a difference in the near future for next year, right? It's frustrating. And you mentioned getting creative and clearing up this money, but the only problem is you have to spend that money. And I'm not confident that they're going to do that. Who's to say we're going to go into this offseason and sign a multi-year contract, a multi-year free agent?
Bet against it, but
most likely, yeah, the odds are definitely against it. So this series was the epitome of what they've dealt with all year. You had really good starts from Haney. You had a pretty, Majinski was Majinski, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But then you had 2 out of 3 very good starts, and you just could not score runs. You didn't score a run until the 9th inning on Saturday. You were getting shut out. Take that away. You haven't scored runs in, it was like 17 out of 18 innings. You didn't. Yeah. You barely got a guy in scoring position.
It's a big problem, man. It's a big problem.
It's a huge problem. Skeens was really efficient today. He had 80 pitches through 7. Like I said, he went a complete game. Was he slightly over 100 pitches today?
101, 102. Yeah.
He looked gross.
Yeah, you can't ask for a better outing. You literally can't. I thought that run was going to be unearned because of Brian. Did they not mark that as an error?
I don't believe they did.
Wow. Okay. All right. I mean, it was tough in the hole, but still.
It's one run.
It's one run.
It's one singular run, man. That's it. You have a lot of issues. You have Henry Davis up there guessing. It's very clear that he's guessing.
Yeah, you got the first hit off of Abel. But his at-bats he's guessing, like you said. That's all I want to say about it.
Yeah. Let's get into it, man.
Yep.
I'll start us off. Friday versus the Phillies, 8-4 L. Andrew Heaney was on the bump. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, 3 walks, 2 Ks. His ERA is at 3.02, 60 strikes on 94 pitches. The bullpen, this is where it collapsed. You had a Canario home run. He was 2 for 3 on the day with 2 runs, 3 RBIs, opposite field bomb, and Triolo had an RBI, but the bullpen just exploded. Here you had Holderman, 1 1/3, 2 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, 1 K. Barucki could not finish the inning, 2 earned, 2 walks. Tanner Rainey had 2/3, 1 walk, and then Joey Wentz, 1 inning, 3 hits, 3 earned, 1 walk, 1 K. This game was 3-2 late.
Yeah. Yep.
And then they just completely imploded. So it looked promising. Don Kelly got ejected, arguing a check swing on this one. As a team, 8 Ks, 5 walks, 7 hits, 1 for 7 runners in scoring position, 7 left on base. Positives, Canarios look good.
Speaking of Canario, entering this series, hitting 325 with a 911 OPS in May.
Yeah, you guys
So
in the lineup.
he's the type of guy that, hey, let's just DFA fam and let him get all the reps for the rest of the year. Like, let's see what you got with him. Let's run him out there, and he's been solid defensively since that first week. I know he was a little rough to start, but I mean, he's hitting the ball hard, man. You don't get any cheap shots off that bat. So let's go to Saturday. Majinski, is this going to be one of his last starts? I don't know. We've been saying that for a couple of weeks now. 3 1/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 Ks, gave up a homer, 5.67 ERA, 8 whiffs. Wentz hasn't looked good as of late. 1 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 2 Ks. His ERA is up to 4.64 with 6 whiffs. Ferguson, 1 inning, 1 K. Rainey went 1 inning, 1 K as well. And Sugar went 1 inning, no hits, 2 walks, 1 K. His ERA is at 2.75. Really the only offense here, last inning, little too late. Brian Reynolds 2 for 3 with a home run. He finally, after the day off, got a couple hits. His 6th home run of the year, 2 RBIs. His average is at 202. 4 hits total, 3 left on base, 11 Ks. They did not have a runner in scoring position. They lost 5-2 to the Phillies. Just another offensive blunder. Looking at the box score, 5-2. Oh, they only lost by 3 runs. Those 2 runs came in the last inning. It was 5-0 the entire game.
Let's get this over with. 1-0 on Sunday. As we mentioned, Paul looked unreal. 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. His ERA is at 2.44. Okay. Paul Skeens is pretty much the only thing that is right with the Pirates right now. O'Neal Cruz struck out 4 times today. Brian Reynolds had another hit today, but 2 Ks. Canario with a base hit. IKF, Davis each had knocks. As a team, 14 strikeouts, 1 walk. 14 strikeouts, 1 walk, 6 hits, 0 for 4 runners in scoring position, 5 left on base. IKF got caught stealing in the 3rd. They also grounded into a double play in that inning where they had their best scoring opportunity. Let me go through this real quick, Scott. O'Neal Cruz right now is hitting 223, Kutch 248, Reynolds 203, Horwitz, give it a break here because not much of a sample size, 167. Ke'Bryan Hayes 250, Canario 229, Frazier 217, IKF in the 8-hole hitting 279, and then Henry Davis 150.
Yeah, it's not good. Skeens had 22 whiffs today too, by the way.
22 whiffs.
Unreal, man. Another just rough game to watch offensively. The only reason I kept it on was watching Skeens pitch. That was it. I was getting very frustrated watching these at bats against Mick Abel, although he looked good. O'Neal Cruz, is he okay? He doesn't look right.
He looks stiff.
He looks stiff. I don't know if he's 100% healthy. Something else to monitor. But man, what a rough weekend in Philly. We were talking about going out to this series. Glad we didn't. I enjoyed Altoona.
God, dude. Thank God. I would have rather been in Altoona, Pennsylvania, than Philadelphia this weekend, and we made the right choice.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, let's take a break, Adam. We're going to come back and we're going to preview the Reds series. They're going to long homestand here coming up, and then we'll announce our players of the week at the end. All right, Adam, we've got the Reds coming to town. You saw the first series in Cincinnati, but they're coming to Pittsburgh this week for a 3-game series. Monday, we've got Nick Lodolo against Mitch Keller. This year, Nick is 3-4 with a 3.42 ERA and 52 2/3 innings pitched, 9 games started, 42 Ks, and a 108 WHIP. He'll throw a 4-pitch mix at you, a 4-seam curve, change, and sinker. That 4-seam he'll throw 30% of the time at around 93 to 94. The curve he'll throw at 27% of the time in the low 80s, and the change and sinker at 20% of the time. The change is high 80s, while the sinker sits around the same as the 4-seam at 93 to 94. He's a 6'6" left-hander known for his advanced command, deception, extension, and strikeout potential. Like I said, the fastball sits in the low to mid 90s, topping out at 96, delivered from a 3/4 arm slot. It benefits from his tall frame, creating a steep downhill angle in the curve. This is his most effective secondary offering, featuring significant vertical and horizontal break. When it's sharp, it's among the best in baseball. Last year, he had a blister issue, which, it prohibited his whiff potential there with that pitch. This is a guy that was drafted by the Pirates out of high school, decided to go to TCU instead, and got drafted even higher by the Reds a couple years ago. So he's a tough lefty arm, comes from a tough slot. He'll be a tough matchup, although everyone seems to be a tough matchup for this team.
Tuesday, right-handed pitcher Nick Martinez against Bailey Falter. Nick Martinez this year, 2-4 with a 3.66 ERA and 51 2/3 innings pitched. 9 games, 40 Ks with a 1.16 whip. Here's the arsenal. You got a four-seam at 22% of the time, sitting around 92 to 93. The change, 21% of the time, around 79 miles per hour. And then the rest of the arsenal is a cutter, sinker, slider, and curve. It's a right-handed pitcher who revitalized his career in Japan, known for his deep arsenal and exceptional command with all of his pitches. His changeup stands out for its effectiveness, inducing weak contact, while his cutter and sinker are instrumental in limiting hard-hit balls. His four-seam fastball has been less effective with higher opponent WOBA and hard-hit percentages. They've struggled against Nick Martinez, so I would expect nothing less on Tuesday, but let's go to Wednesday.
Wednesday, we've got Brady Singer versus Andrew Heaney. The Pirates faced Brady Singer on the 11th of April. He earned a win with 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks, and gave up a home run to Adam Frazier. This year, as a whole, he's 5-2 with a 5.1 ERA, 46 2/3 innings pitched, 9 games started, 43 Ks, and a 1.31 whip. He's mostly a sinker slider guy. He'll throw that sinker 43% of the time, the slider at 33% of the time, the sinker low 90s, the slider in the low 80s. He'll throw a cutter, four-seam, and sweeper as well, so different fastball variants there. The cutter will sit in the high 80s, while the four-seam will be in the low 90s. He's a durable mid-rotation starter with a ground ball heavy approach. The sinker, this pitch exhibits excellent arm side run and sink, making it effective in inducing ground balls, especially when located down in the zone. In the slider, this pitch serves as his primary swing and miss offering, effective against both right-handers and left-handed hitters.
All right. Well, they got swept by the Reds last time. They come to PNC Park. Got to hit, man. I don't know what else to say. You got to score runs.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. You don't need to be a rocket scientist watching this team to know what's wrong. Get guys in scoring position, get them over, get them in. I don't care how you do it at this point. You just have to get more than 4 runs on the board. I think it's been 23 consecutive games where they have not scored more than 4 runs. And they've only scored more than 5, twice this year?
Yeah.
Is that the worst in the league? It has to be.
It has to be, man. It's a all-time low, man. It's got to be a record of some sort.
It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. It's become a national story when you have, not that it wasn't before, but when you have a talent like Paul Skeens that's going to be at the top of, everybody's story every time he pitches, and then you have this type of outing and you still don't win, it's going to get amplified even more. And it's going to be continued to do so unless they step it up. The only problem is it doesn't look like there's anything that's going to turn this around outside of just hitting being contagious. Right?
Outside of a change in personnel, man. I mean, another announcement that we didn't really mention, they bring in Gene Lamont as the bench coach. He managed the Pirates from 97 and 2000. And he's like 78 years old. He was a bench coach for Jim Leland in the early 90s. He's got experience in Pittsburgh. Chris Truby, the AAA manager from Indianapolis, will also come up and serve as a bench coach of sorts. So we've seen this in the offseason. They've added personnel in the front office and on the coaching staff. But this isn't going to change until they change the personnel on the field, man. The product on the field is the problem. You can add as many coaches, as many analysts as you want up in the front office, but the product is just not good enough on the field, and that is the main problem here.
100%. before we close this out, let's go to our players of the week. Hitter, Alexander Canario, not very tough here. 9 for 22 with a home run, 3 RBIs, 2 walks, slash line 409, 458, 591.
And the pitcher of the week, it's Paul Skeens, man. Could have made an argument for Mitch Keller here. He had a really good outing, but Paul Skeens, 2 starts, 14 innings pitched, 9 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 15 Ks, a total of 31 whiffs between those 2 games. He's pitched well enough to win both of the games he started this week, but has lost both. He's been excellent. He's the least of our problems, no matter what you hear on the radio or on in the circles on Twitter. This is an ace. The best pitcher to wear a Pirates uniform, and it's a shame that what he's got around him right now. It's a shame.
Absolutely. If you don't already, go subscribe to the YouTube channel at Bucko Banter, like, comment, share it with a friend, go to all the socials at Bucko Banter, hit that follow button, interact with us. This upcoming Saturday, I'm giving you a week's notice. We will be at Allegheny Coffee and Tea Exchange answering live questions, doing a live show, most likely at 10 a.m. We're going to push it back a little bit more. And then we'll be at the park all week, Scott. We got a big stretch of games coming up here, all NL Central opponents. So you know what? This is no more important than any other game, even if it is Central opponents, because you just got to win. I don't care. Score runs, do something.
I don't care how it happens either.
Exactly. I really could care less. Just go out there, play the best baseball you can, score more than 4 runs. That's all we're asking. Join us for our minor league episode. On Tuesday, we will have pitcher for the Greensboro Grasshoppers, flamethrower Antoine Kelly, joining the show. Really good conversation with him. Really promising prospect down there in Greensboro. So very interested to hear what he'll have to say. And until next time, raise it.
Raise it.
Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates, or the steak by the plates. And